I wonder if we actually remember Star Wars more than we watched it, but we actually lived it. I was always kind of obsessed with it, like awakening something ancient. As for many of us, Star Wars wasn't just a movie, it was a coding, an awakening, a soul whispering, reminding us who we were before the amnesia and the fall of consciousness. When I first saw the Jedi, it was familiar. It was very familiar, not like entertainment, but like initiation. Because the Jedi weren't just characters, they were mirrors of our ancient past, our mystery school, Earth guardians, galactic priesthoods, protectors of ancient wisdoms, and activators of consciousness through the planetary grid system. Long before the earthly incarnation, there were galactic civilizations: Lemuria, Atlantis, Orion, Lyra, Sirius, and Andromeda. As there were wars not just of weapons, but of consciousness, as this has always been a spiritual war between light and dark. The Orion Wars were some of the earliest conflicts between service-to-self empires and beings of light who stood for unity, love, and remembrance, and upholding the Emerald Order of the Law of One. The Dark Empires distorted the grid, manipulated timelines, and harvested fear from those cosmic fractures. Echoes remain of the inverted system. Atlantis was the echo of high advanced earthly civilization, where crystalline technology, multidimensional wisdom, and energy mastery were everyday reality. But when the ego control crept in, when the Atlantean priesthood became inverted and fractured, it led to a fall, a flood, and a forgetting. So we were reset yet again. The Lemuria came before. It was an Eden-based, age of heart-based, living telepathy, harmony with nature. The Lemurians were the starseed souls, the original experiment for who embodied the divine feminine blueprint of Earth's sacred potential for the Divine Mother. Lucas didn't just pull this out of thin air. He studied Joseph Campbell's The Hero's Journey, the Vedas and the Hindu mythology, Dante's Inferno and the Divine Comedy, the sacred spiral of transformation, and all initiates of life. Now zoom out. What do we see that Star Wars shows us? A technologically advanced society that has lost its soul, an empire obsessed with control, a small band of rebels and mystics remembering the Force and holding the line against destruction and distortion. The Jedi path mirroring the ancient Vedics in the rishis, the Jedi of Egypt representing the Jed pillar, the priesthood of Ra that bent reality in alignment with divine order, which is known as the Law of One or Mayat. Zen monks, samurai codes, Taoist teachings, the Essenes, Hindus, Templars, Rosicrucians, all holding the line between the seen and the unseen. I can go on and on. Also teaching us the polarity between light and dark. The Force is not fiction. That is chi, that is prana, kundalini, sakin, mana. The same current that flows through everything in reality, that intrinsically connects all things in the universe. And the dark side, that's not just some villain trope. It's a seduction of unchecked power, of unchecked ego, and the consuming and siphoning of energy. The distortion when it's pulled out of alignment. And we've all danced with this unconsciously. It shows us the light builds upon limitless power, that we can harness the power from the earth, the sun, and our universe. But we have to access with pure heart and coherent mind, or we never will be able to harness the Force. But the darkness doesn't know how to create, so it inverts. It must control others to siphon their power, and we see in the Law of One, the left-hand path, the service to self, and the right-hand path, the service to others. The Sith, that's the shadow of Atlantis. The Jedi, they are the wisdom keepers, the light beings of Sirius, and the guardians of Mayat. And Jedi training mirrors yogic initiation, ancient initiation and mystery schools, energy cultivation, breath control, and psychic attunement. And the Sith path represents the egoic domination of imbalance, very similar to distorted left-hand path magic or misuse of Kundalini or black magic. Even the Galactic Empire, that's an echo of real-world systems that are tied to control, colonization, and extract. Star Wars doesn't play out in space, it plays out in history, our governments, and our psyche over and over again, repeating the same patterns. So when we talk about Star Wars, we're really talking about memory, a myth that echoes something much deeper within all of us, something encoded in our soul, a remembrance of the time when we carried the Force, not as a concept, but as a way of being. We're not just watching this from the outside. We've lived this. Some of us were on those ships. Some of us fell, and some of us remember. And now, in this timeline, we are awakening once again. Not in a galaxy far, far away, but right here and right now. This is our collective story. Remember who you are. It's just been inverted and called science fiction. Why they tell us what happened right under our noses. But do we have the eyes to see, the ears to listen, and the heart to feel? The Jedi path is real. It is you. It is us. May the Force be with you. Namaste.